the unfortunate public announcement by Donald Trump on RT, Russian TV, or wherever you are, that the US is going to strike Syria along with the United Kingdom and France, which is very frightening news, very, very frightening, because I'm sure that they know the consequences of that. And you know, it starts off with if somebody starts losing an advantage, they start upping the ante, and somebody, probably the United States, is going to probably unleash some sort of limited nuclear strike, which of course won't be limited. That will be, then there will be a response by Russia. And so this is very, very disturbing. This is much worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis in 63 or 62. It's much worse than that. And I would urge anyone living in the United States, the United Kingdom, and France to get on the phone, to mobilize, get out in the streets and march against this, or ring your representative and tell them that this is absolutely unacceptable, and that they should not be doing it in your name. And we need to get out now. And I'm going to call various political representatives, and hopefully everybody in the world will, because it's going to affect all of us. If there is a nuclear response, it's going to be probably end up being unlimited. It'll be just a matter of an obliteration. We will all end up in a nuclear winter, and that will go on for like 50 years or something, and there'll be no food. We'll make ourselves extinct, and that's not to mention the radiation fallout. So we really, really have to do something about this. He's put a bunch of people in his cabinet, Trump, and this would have happened with Hillary Clinton too. Unfortunately, the US empire at this point is an insatiable monster that is just wanting full spectrum dominance in the world. And Donald Trump has put absolute warmongers. John Bolton is probably one of the most extreme, warmongers there is. He couldn't have put anybody that more sort of problematic. There isn't a war that he doesn't want to be in. There isn't a war that he doesn't want to start. So this is extremely serious. I was really hoping that common sense would prevail, and that they would realize that this will be the beginning of World War III, and World War III will probably last about an hour. And we will all suffer for it. So if you've never, ever called your representative or marched, ever, now is the time to do so. This is extremely serious. Worse than the missile crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis 50 or so years ago. So we need to do something. We need to do something. If you've never done anything before political, now is the time to do it. If you don't want to be starving to death with a nuclear winter, and for us to all go extinct, including all the other animals on the planet, and for this planet to be unlivable for probably millions of years. And these stupid oligarchs think that they're going to be able to go into a bunker somewhere. They're not going to be able to get through this. In their hubris, they think that they can, but they won't. I think this is some sort of patriarchal death drive. You know, we've had patriarchy running the planet now for a very, very long time. And US empire has been out of control since World War II, since they put the CIA in, and they've been meddling in dozens and dozens of countries and their governments. And they are absolutely, they've had a corporate coup d'etat, and now now they have insane people running the show. They've always had psychopaths running the show, but now they're in overdrive. So I urge you, particularly United States citizens, to do something, to get on the phone to your representatives immediately, then get out on the streets. Because this, I mean, I'm not trying to, this isn't hyperbole. This is going to be a disaster. I'm hoping that someone will step in after this speech that Donald Trump has just given and try and talk some sense into these people. But I think that the lineup of the cabinet, ever since he's gotten in, it's these cabinet members that have been ditched have been replaced with more and more warmongers. So I don't see this. I don't see that this is probably unstoppable at present. But we must say, not in our name. This is something I've been dreading the last few days. I honestly didn't think they were this insane to go ahead with it. I really, really didn't. Like, I thought that they would, if they thought they could get away with it and win, whatever winning means, you know, they might go ahead with it. You know, it's just sort of like, isn't it ridiculous that this is a false flag event, most likely? I would say, going by the fact that they don't want anybody to really, or they haven't even waited to see if the results, if there has been a chemical attack. But the absolute hypocrisy that a country, the United States, that has been going around, has killed hundreds of millions of people, really, over the decades. Oh, not hundreds of millions, sorry, I think it's like 30 million people, sorry, that's an overestimate. About 30 million people. A country that in Iraq in the early 90s had killed 500,000 children with their sanctions, etc. And we're okay with it. As Madeleine Albright said, she thought it was worth it. This is a country that always goes into these, that makes up reasons, humanitarian reasons. What a joke. Humanitarian reasons, pretending to care, selective caring, by the way. They ignore Palestine and Yemen. They're backing a genocide in Yemen. That's okay. There's one child dying every 10 minutes in Yemen, and they've been backing the Saudi Arabian genocide there. That's okay. But apparently this chemical attack in Syria, the last one was discredited. It wasn't by the Assad government. Assad isn't perfect by any means. I'm not saying that, but the last one, Cy Hirsch, the reporter that uncovered the My Lai massacre, he did a research into that. He did, reporting into it and said that it wasn't the Assad government. And this one is just, I would say, a false flag, and the fact that they don't seem to even want to wait for the results, the United States, just shows that they don't want to wait for the results. They want to get in and bomb the bejesus out of Syria over what they claim are 40 people who were killed. They want to bomb Syria and kill, tens of thousands in this pretext of caring about those 40 people that were killed, were supposedly, allegedly killed. And I would say that possibly didn't even take place, and if it did, it was probably done by US-backed quote-unquote moderate rebels, the ones that are actually ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Jaish, Islam, and the like. we're drowning in propaganda. We're drowning in propaganda, and this is what it's led to. And we have the mainstream media, the corporate mainstream media in the United States has been banging the drums of war, as they did when with the weapons of the pretext of weapons of mass destruction, the lie that led to the Iraq War that has killed millions of brown people and will go on for decades. The country is wrecked. And now this, another lie. And even if it wasn't a lie, even if, say, Assad had used chemical weapons on his own citizens, right? How insane is it to say, well, he killed 40 people, let's bomb the bejesus out of Syria, killing, thousands of people over that. How stupid is that? So anyway, this is sort of an appalling situation now that Trump has announced. This, I don't know what he thinks he's going to do. He's a talk show real estate person, a reality show person. He has no clue what he's doing, and he's allowed these psychopaths, and he's a psychopath too, he's allowed these psychopaths to run the show. And now look what we're facing, World War III, which will be over in a New York minute if they unleash these nuclear weapons that are 70, 80 times more powerful than Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And by the way, the United States doesn't have problems killing hundreds of thousands of people. They don't. The United States government do not have any problem killing hundreds of thousands of people because they've done it already. Millions, in fact. So this pretense that this feigning care about the Syrian people, please. And they've been funding terrorists to destabilize the government there, to do regime change. So this is truly a sad day. So please get out. Say, not in my name. Please get out and do something, because I fear, unless somebody steps in and cooler heads prevail. I mean, the Russians have been doing their best. Lavrov has been doing his best to try and diffuse this situation, but if the US empire is intent on going ahead with this, it won't matter what's done. So this could be the most dire thing that's ever happened on this planet to date. And there's been a lot of dire things happen. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Please do something. My name's Trish Roberts. You're watching Faint Signals from Vega. Till next time, bye for now.